Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Jim K. Ford Sens Nation podcast. Man, we got a jam-packed show. We got Steve Staios with a State of the Team mid-season address. We've got Adnan Virk from Prime Monday Hockey as the Sens take on the Detroit Red Wings on Monday night. And in a moment here, we'll have our good friend, our third man in, Sens winger Drake Batherson joining us on the show. First of all, Greg, how are you today?
Well, I'm good, Steve, except for the hair that everybody is commenting on. I don't know. It's a Sunday afternoon on the couch watching football hairdo, buddy. Deal with it, okay?
I'm dealing with it fine. I'm just
Okay,
not
all
sure if
right.
it's a hat or a hairdo or what, but it is what it is. It's Sunday afternoon as we record this, and yeah, the Sens are getting ready for a big Atlantic Division battle with the Detroit Red Wings, and we're very pleased to have our third man in, Drake Batherson, on the line. Drake, how are you today?
I'm doing good, boys. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a little bit, so excited to catch you up here.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a hat on. Well done.
Yeah, I didn't have the balls to not wear a hat with my hairdo, so
Well, that's what. See,
credit to
I'm confident, Steve. I've got balls. That's why I want
you.
Excellent. Well, out of the gate, let's say, first of all, Happy New Year. And I'm sure our listeners would love to hear what the Batherson clan did for both Christmas and New Year's. Did you go anywhere? Did you host? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I actually went back home to my hometown, to my parents' place. Haven't been back since I think it was 7 years since my first year in Belleville. So been a long time. It was awesome. My whole mom's side of the family's down there, so it was great to get home and see everybody. And then kept it pretty quiet on New Year's Eve. Yeah.
No, fine. Now, so what have you been like every other year? Do you not necessarily get enough time off, or have you been traveling, or what do you normally do at Christmas then for the last 7 years?
Yeah, it's just our schedule's so tight, and I feel like we're always traveling. I remember the one year we played on the 23rd in Edmonton, so it was like, am I gonna fly all night and then get up and go to the valley? So sometimes my family would come up here, but this year, there was a early flight on the 24th out, and then I was able to fly in to Toronto on the 26th. So it just kind of worked good. But I think I'm always gonna try to go home now. It's
Good.
always nice getting back.
No doubt. So the New Year's Eve was quiet because you had a game. That pretty much took any kind of New Year's festivities out of the mix when the ball dropped at midnight, and 13 hours later, you guys are taking on the Washington Capitals. And,
Yeah.
and Drake, you didn't exactly ring in the new year with, goodwill toward men. You got in a good scrap against the Washington Capitals. Maybe tell us little bit about how it was basically taken up for Thomas Chabot, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It was obviously they were on the power play. You kind of got smoked, and then there was like a TV timeout, and I told Timmy on the bench, I was like, I'm gonna go that guy as soon as I get out there because we were playing against their line all night, and he kind of gave me that look. He's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm serious." And then I just went and did it, but I knew I'd have the first opportunity to do something about it, and just figured it was right, and no, I'm glad I did it.
And I'm assuming the reaction from the rest of the boys, particularly from Shabbat, was all positive. But I'm sure there were a couple of shots in there. Some of them must have been chirping you a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, they were all loving it. Especially McDermott. Me and him had a good laugh about it. But no, I think no matter who fights, you're so pumped for them for doing that, and that's just kind of our team's culture. Whoever gets in a fight gets fired up for them, and yeah, that's what happened.
Maybe a thought on Shabby because he's playing great, but at the same time he's taken a beating. He took that big hit in the Capitals game, then a puck in the face last night, and he had the face guard on by the end. But I mean, how is he feeling about things? Because he's going good, but at the same time taking a beat down.
Yeah, he's a warrior. I mean, ever since I've played with him. I know it's been a long time now, but he's played through so much stuff. I remember the one year he was playing through a wrist problem. As soon as the season was done, he needed a huge surgery on it. Countless other things. He got smoked last night, did an X-ray, and then came right back. So he's always playing through something. I mean, a lot of guys are, but especially him, I find, and he's a warrior. And having him back after his injury, it's been awesome. He's been playing so well and so confident, and both his goals last night. Even the second one, looked like he had an open net, but he actually had to like put it over Hollebuck there, and it was a rolling puck. So it was pretty impressive, both goals.
And you scored a nice one too on a play from Timmy Stutzla. Did you call? Did he know you were there? Was there a slight second look, or how did he figure out you were there?
Yeah, no, I called for one probably like 20 seconds before that, but he ended up making a nice play and almost scoring, and then he got it again right in the same spot, and I called for it and made a great spinorama play right on my tape, and just was able to find an opening there and score. But it was a great play by him there for sure.
So Brady Tkachuk took the big sucker punch that everybody's talking about. The win was huge, but the water cooler talk's going to be all about that big sucker punch from Logan Stanley on Brady Tkachuk. What's Brady talking about in the room after it happens? Did you guys have to peel him off the ceiling kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a pretty fiery guy, and whether that happened to him or someone else, I mean, he would be mad. But yeah, we were all kind of mad. It was a dirty play for sure. Obviously, I think I saw he's having a hearing today about it. But I mean, if you want to fight a guy, I think you should just make eye contact and drop the gloves before throwing any punches. But there's a few sequences like that around the league last night, so
Mhm.
I don't know. But no, obviously didn't like the play at all, that's for sure.
Now we're not privy, obviously, to what goes on the ice, but I'd like to think that Logan Stanley would have said something maybe later. He's got to feel bad. He's got to know that maybe I popped off a little too early there, or caught him off guard or something. Was anything said between Stanley and Brady later in the game, or are we allowed to share that with us, or do
Yeah,
you?
I think we had one. I was playing with Brady last night. I think we only had one shift against them, and it wasn't for that long, maybe like 10 seconds. So I didn't hear anything. I mean, I'm sure after he saw the replay, he probably felt bad, but I don't know. Nothing was really said, so hard to say.
So, a general thought at this point, we're at the midway point in the season, and I'd be curious to know you went to the playoffs last spring, and right now you're, I think, 2 points out of a playoff spot right now. How are you feeling about things at this stage of the season? Are you about where you expected to be? Are you behind? Are you ahead? How do you feel?
Yeah, I think maybe as far as the wins, not where we want to be exactly. I thought there was a lot of games where we played really well and just weren't able to win, whether it was a good goalie or just giving up a goal late that didn't take us to overtime to even get a point. But that's hockey, and I think this year the way the standings are, the games that we have lost, it's still so tight and we're right there. So, which is nice. Maybe in years past, there's 5, 6 teams in the East that are hot, and they're 10 points ahead of us right now, which would make it tougher. But it's so tight. Anytime you win a game, you feel like everyone else wins, and anytime you lose a game, I feel like everyone else loses. So, I think, especially a game like tomorrow against Detroit, obviously it's a huge game, just division wise and Eastern Conference standing wise. So uh, I feel like we've been playing like hockey in March pretty much the whole year, because it's usually crunch time in March when you're trying to get an upper hand on other teams. But this year it's been the whole season. So it's been really fun though, to be honest with you, and it's only going to ramp up more as we go on.
Yeah, that was one thing that interested me was that certain players thrive on that kind of pressure. Certain guys maybe not so much. I'm just basically, as you just said, every game you're within a point or two of whoever you're playing. It seems, and you mentioned last night it was a good night because there were losses by a lot of those teams ahead of you. Like, how does that affect your psyche? Where every night you come to the rink, like a loss, we could jump up into third, or sorry, a win, we could jump up into second or third. A loss, we could be back down again. Like, it's got to play with your mind every night. There's so much pressure almost every single night.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like every time we score, it's like we score a goal like in the playoffs or towards the end of the year where it matters, just because it feels like it means that much, which as a player, it's awesome, I think. I mean, there'd be nights I think we'd love to not be so worried about the game and kind of just roll out of there with an easy win. But we feel like it's always tight. Like even last night, we were able to. G was able to score one late, but it was a 3-2 game coming down to the wire again. So, well, that's all right. I think we're only gonna learn from it and get better from it. So, but a nice easier win would be nice every once in a while.
That's a while.
Yeah.
I'd love to get your evaluation of your own game because it certainly looks like, year by year, the comfort level seems to get better and better. Do you have, what's your psyche like, when you say compare it to 3-4 years ago, your confidence level, the sense of like you're a veteran in the league now and not just a kid that's, developing and things. It feels to me as a viewer that you're kind of evolving and maturing as a player. How do you kind of regard it as you move along in your career here?
Yeah, I think I've had years where I've had really good starts, I think, and kind of just got ahead of myself. Being enjoying it too much. I think. Whereas now, if I have a good night, I enjoy it for a couple hours after the game, and I'm kind of try to stay just as hungry, like I haven't had a point in 10 games for the next one. So I think you just learn that as you go along, and even if you play a bad game now, you just kind of learn to move on from it and reset for the next one. Whereas years past, maybe I let that trickle down for two or three. But that's just if you ask any older guy who's been around, I think everyone kind of goes through that learning stage, and I feel like I've gone through that the last couple of years, and I think we're just all hungry to win here, and it's exciting. It's exciting hockey to play.
Can we get away from the Senators and ask a Team Canada question? How did
Mhm.
you how did you feel about the whole situation? I'm going to go ahead and assume that you were on the long list and you've been being tested all year long. Did you think you had a shot? Were you disappointed? What are your thoughts on the team? Just any general thoughts you've got regarding the Olympic team.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty quiet for me, obviously. I didn't go to the orientation camp or anything like that, so I have no idea where I was on the list. If I was on the list at one point, I'd even be honored to be on that long list. But there's so many talented players they can pick from for that team. So I thought they did a great job. I think it's a tough position for the GM and coach to be in because no matter what team they pick, I feel like someone's going to be mad about someone not making it. So I feel for those guys, but no, I thought they picked a great team, and I'm excited to watch that tournament.
Is that a goal maybe for what is it, 2030, the next Olympics?
Yeah, no, I think it's always a goal. I mean, you obviously want to. I was fortunate enough to play, obviously World Juniors and World Championship, and it's such an honor to wear that crest. So I think as a player, you want to do the best you can for your own team, and kind of that stuff just kind of takes care of itself on the other end.
And a few Olympians in the room, so some guys to celebrate with. Any surprises there? Everybody you thought was going to make it. How did you feel about Linus Allmark, who maybe could have been on Team Sweden, but it's nice for the other guys, Nick Matenpalo and Brady, obviously Sanderson. But any thoughts on Pinto? What do you think about the guys on your team who are going and not going?
Yeah, no, obviously super pumped for them. Obviously Brady knew for a while when they put out the 5 or 6 players there in the summer, but for Timmy, Jake, Mon Paulo. I think that's everyone, right? I don't know.
I think you got to Eller there as well.
Oh, Eller, sorry,
That's
yeah,
right. Yep.
L's too. So, I mean, that's going to be such a cool moment for those guys, on that stage and just being in the Olympic Village and stuff. I heard it's unbelievable, so I'm excited to hear what it's like after that for them. But no, it's a huge honor for all those guys. Obviously, it's been a while since the NHL guys have played in it since over a decade ago. So excited to watch that tournament. And as far as the guys that didn't make it, I mean, it's tough. It's like I was saying before. It's for those teams to pick, guys. There's so many good players. Every team could probably have an A, B team and be really good still. So I think it just goes to show how many good players didn't make it that probably could make it, and just shows the competition how high it is.
As Greg mentioned, Linus Ullmark was not on that Sweden team, but he's obviously got more important things on the personal front to deal with. Maybe a word on the support level from the boys for Linus Ullmark and the confidence level you guys have in Levi Merilainen.
Yeah, no, obviously, when we heard the news, we just kind of all reached out and kind of said we're here for him, and if you need anything, let us know. And I hope he's doing great, and we'll be back soon. Because we all know what he's capable of for us. What he did last year, obviously won a Vezina, what he did in Boston. So we're excited for him to get back and help us out. But the confidence in Levy, all the confidence in the world in him. Really, he's such a level-headed guy and kind of doesn't let anything get to him. I feel like he's. I remember last year he was playing in MSG, like his second or third game, and it looked like he was playing a Sunday, pickup game, no nerves at all, and one of the most famous building in the world. So he's a great goalie, and but we're excited at the same time for Linus to get back and have both of them going for us.
Okay, and what's the nickname for Hunter Shepard? I have to know. Like that.
I think
Everybody out there seems to be comparing him to that to Otto, the caddy in the original
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Is he? What do you call this guy? And please don't tell me you just call him Shep.
That's exactly what we call him right now.
Man.
But I gotta ask him if he's got what his buddies call him or something.
Yeah.
Or I'll think of something for him.
I have a suggestion. Daryl, as in derelict.
Okay.
Call him Daryl.
Oh man, that's nasty, man.
We'll have to figure something out. But no, he's a great guy. Goes about his business, and I think the next couple of weeks here when we get a back-to-back, we'll see him in action. Obviously, he's got a great resume, winning Calder Cups and stuff like that, and good goalie. So I'm excited to see him, get a shot.
And Greg, I'm sure you're not ripping him down just because of his hairstyle, right? Right? Huh?
Right.
So lastly, I wanted to ask you about the Red Wings game. That's going to be obviously a big one. You alluded to it earlier, but Detroit was in the boat you guys were in with this massive long Stanley Cup playoff drought. They're still going with their drought, and all of a sudden they're in first place. Maybe a word on the Red Wings as you get ready for a very big Atlantic Division matchup.
Yeah, no, obviously they've been really good the last 2-3 years, I feel like. And I always say it's hard enough. It's so hard to win the Stanley Cup. It's just as hard, I feel like, to get into the playoffs, especially this year. So a team like that, obviously they got off to a good start, and they deserve to be there right now. And then as far as around the league, it's the teams that can stay most consistent. I feel like that'll stay at the top. So they got a really skilled team with some great D. Obviously, that Sider's having a really good year. So they picked up a goalie too in Gibson. So that'll be good. And obviously, we haven't played them yet, which is weird for being in the Atlantic Division. But those games always seem to be really good against them. So looking forward to it.
You good, Greg?
Yeah. Well, actually, Drake, are you still the team equipment expert? Trivia expert, everybody's sticks and everybody.
Yeah.
You shared this with us before.
Yeah.
Tape jobs, especially, right? You know who's got white and black and who does what, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
pretty good.
All right, I came up with a list, including yourself, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys who use white tape on their blade.
Okay.
You got them or not? Yeah, you got them.
Yeah, I'll go. Timmy, Brady, myself, G, Zetterlund, Jensen,
Oh, wow.
Zub.
Oh, I didn't have Zoop. I'll give you that one. Sure.
Yeah, he puts the black puck mark on it. What else we got in there? We got Halliday.
And I got one more.
One more.
That's impressive, kid.
He's got 9 or something.
Yeah, I
now.
know. Well, I didn't have. Yeah.
One
He
more.
He added a couple that I'll give him. I had Spence as well. Is that right?
Oh yeah, Spenny. Yeah, forgot about Spenny.
Spenny.
Yeah.
There you go. There's some imagination.
So
All
pretty
good.
solid.
You still got it, buddy. You still got it.
Yeah.
Well played. Well played. Now we got Fabian Zetterlund coming on next week. It'll be his debut on the show. What can we expect from Fabian Zetterlund, do you think?
Oh, he's great. I mean, super easy going, go with the flow guy, nice and chill. So no, he'll be great on here.
Yeah, and he's heating up. He's heating up. Good to see, as is Drake Batherson. He's throwing a little scrapping into his repertoire as well, and we appreciate him joining us here on a Sunday afternoon. Drake, best of luck the second half of the season, and thanks for being with us as always.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me back on. Good chatting with you.
Go where others fear to tread this winter in the SUV that's built for it. The 2025 Bronco Sport with standard 4x4 capability. Right now, get $2,500 in rebates on eligible 2025 Bronco Sport models during the Ford Winter Break event. Visit Jim K. Ford today for details.
At Jim K. Ford Lincoln, we say yes!
Here in Canada, we don't just make lights. We craft possibility, connection, and celebration. Built right here by people who care about what they're creating. At Celebrite, we're made of all the colors of the RGB rainbow, each person bringing their own brilliance. Because when we come together, we make something brighter. Celebrite.ca, proudly made in Canada.
Once again, Greg, we want to welcome our great new sponsor, Midas. You can find your favorite location at Midas.com.
We talked last week, last show, Steve, about the buy 3, get 1 free on the Nexen tires. These guys sell every kind of tire, from the low grade to the high grade, any tire you like. But the best part is, no matter what tire you buy, you get a lifetime warranty on this sucker, right? If you get a flat, all you got to do is go into Midas, anywhere in North America. If they can repair it, they'll repair it for free. If they can't repair it, they'll replace it, Steve. Brand new tire, free of charge. All you got to do is pay for somebody to install it. Hit up a Midas and get some new tires.
Welcome back to the show. We are very pleased as the Senators get ready to take on the Detroit Red Wings on prime Monday Night Hockey. We're very pleased to be joined by the host of said broadcast, Adnan Virk. And I'm thinking to myself, as we bring him on here, Greg, I don't know that I know a Canadian broadcaster with a more diverse, well-traveled broadcast career than Adnan has. Would that be safe to say, Adnan?
Steve, that's a great compliment. I was scared where you were going. I said, "Oh,
So
God,
was I.
What possibly could I be stepping my feet into here?" Because I saw Bob Stauffer last week at the Oilers game, and as soon as he saw me, big broad smile on his face, he said, "Oh, you think he can take shots at Edmonton, huh?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Ryan Russillo's podcast." He said, "Oh God, I knew it would come back to haunt me." I said, "Who's listening to Ryan Russillo's podcast?" I think I referred to it as Deadmonton and said something about where joy goes to die. I would never say anything negative about the great city of Ottawa because I grew up in Kingston and I went to high school in Ernestown Secondary School, which I told our producer when we were in Ottawa. I said, that is exactly 2 hours from the Canadian Tire Center where I went to high school. But yeah, I've been certainly really fortunate, fellas, as far as having a diverse background. It's a funny way of putting it. The reason I'm laughing is it's like when you've been hired and fired so many places, I'm not really sure what that means. But yeah, if you looked at the whole resume, Steve, it's pretty insane. Started at TSN, behind the scenes, got my honor break at Omni, worked at The Score, MLSE, ESPN, MLB Network, NHL Network, DAZN. I'm the MLB Network, NHL Network. I'm sure there's a Yahoo Canada I worked at one point. Cadence 13, I did a podcast. Meadowlark, of course, did a podcast and a file. So it's been a good run, man. Hopefully we keep this thing going.
I love the baseball part. Hey,
well,
you grew up a Blue Jays fan, no doubt.
It's so funny you say it, Greg, because when I worked at The Score, you guys know this, when you're working in the business, you just take any job you can get, right? I was talking to a kid from Ryerson, now TMU, where I graduated, and I said, make your weakest sport your greatest strength. So I remember at TSN, when I went there, I was 19 years old at a college, and it was my second year. Me and Cabby went to school together, and he was so jealous because I got the big break at TSN, $6,000 for a summer, 4 months work. Like, oh my God, I'm rich. And they give you a sports quiz. I remember they said to me, who was the last horse to win the Triple Crown? What? give me 3 curlers. I'm like, oh God, Sandra Schmirler. After that, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I always think like it's good to be broad-based in sports, but my favorite sport was always baseball. So I didn't get to do baseball to score because Ryan Payton used to do a show called Diamond Survey. I did Courtser, which is our NBA show. I like basketball a lot. I was happy to do it. But it was only because McAuliffe had vacated that slot. Then at ESPN, I worked in a variety of sports. But I had to really push to get on baseball. And especially at ESPN, they kept saying, well, you're probably just a hockey guy. I said, no, listen, I like hockey, but I love baseball. Trust me, get me in that room. You get Abner Doubleday 2.0 here. So I've really, really been lucky. Once I got into baseball tonight, it was a real dream come true. And obviously, I love being a part of Amazon and hockey. But yeah, baseball has always been my favorite sport. Hopefully, I can always keep my foot as a part of the national pastime.
Let's talk a little bit about Prime. How are you enjoying it? So, I mean, you got a great panel there. And one of the things I'm loving, I mean, I love you guys. You guys are doing a great job. But at the same time, I'm really intrigued, being kind of a techie at the same time, with how you guys are putting out such an unbelievable crystal clear signal. Like the camera work, is it the camera work? Is it the feed? Like what is it that sort of sets it above? Because it seems like beyond 4K.
Yeah, I wish I knew, Steve. It's a great question. I was in Winnipeg last week, and one of the cafeteria workers, that's what he said to me. He goes, hey, I really enjoyed the broadcast because your picture is unbelievable. I said, oh, well, I wish I could take credit for it, and I will, but it has nothing to do with me. But you're not the first person to have said that to me, and I don't know the answer. I will just say our tech team must be unbelievable. Because I'm with you. I would have thought, as a guy who still has DirecTV, who used to have a Rogers box for years when I lived in Canada, like I'm the guy who likes cable. I like flipping around channels. I was not an early convert to streaming. And my concern would be, A, in addition to the fact I can't flip around, but B, is the feed lagging, all that kind of stuff. And apparently that's not the case. Apparently our picture blows everybody else out of the water. So props to our team at Amazon Prime, what they've done with the picture, because you're right. I've heard that kind of technical level. It's superb. So I'm grateful for that.
Now let's talk about that team. Were you... What kind of order was everybody brought in? Were you brought in first and consulted on things, or were you brought in after the fact, or how did that work? I'm sure.
I wish I had that kind of juice, Greg. That'd be unbelievable. That's the story I should perpetrate. I get to run the show here. Damn it! After all these years of being subservient to everybody else. No, I think the brain trust kind of knew different people in different spots. So Josh Friedenberg's our coordinating producer. He's a great guy. I think he was a big John Forsland fan. And he knew Forsey because they've been together at NBC. Ken Miller, who was our executive producer, does a phenomenal job. I think Ken kind of had a feeling for certain people. He knew Blake Bolden. They knew her work, had seen her before. I was really fortunate. Amina Hussein and I crossed paths at ESPN. We didn't work together much at ESPN, which is another reminder to everybody out there. Just always be nice to everybody. I don't care if it's the cafeteria worker, the cleaning lady. Somebody's going to go, oh, you were nice to me that one time. I have a job for you. Okay, I'll take it. Amina and I don't believe we ever even worked on a show. I think we would just sit in the hall, say hello. Everybody kind of knows everybody on some level. But when I ran into her at the Emmys, which was a career highlight when MLB Network won MLB Tonight, we won the Emmy for Best Studio Show. Amina came up to me. We were just gabbing about ESPN, and I asked her how it was. She goes, well, I got let go a little while ago. And I said, well, I got let go years ago, so we're all in the same company. She got my number a couple of days later from my friend Robert Flores, who, again, works at MLB Network and is also an ESPN alumni. And she said, I was just thinking when I saw you, you're Canadian. I said, yeah. And she said, Amazon, we're doing this hockey show. And I go, you must know hockey. I said, yeah, of course I do. I'm like, she goes, I've never seen you do hockey. But I'm like, you did college basketball, you did college football. I go, this guy definitely knows hockey. Absolutely. So I have great thanks to Amina Hussein, who then got me in front of Josh and Ken. And Josh said he'd known my work at ESPN. He said he was a big college football fan, so he'd seen my work there. So kind of back to Steve's point, if you just do a wide array of work, at some point somebody will see you somewhere. I can't take the minute people who say, well, I'm not a baseball fan, but I used to hear you on Mike and ESPN Radio, or I don't like hockey, but I saw you do an NFL podcast. So it's I've been very fortunate to touch a lot of different places, and been fortunate in that respect to be at Amazon. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a real homecoming for me. Like I said, obviously Ottawa's close enough to Kingston/Morven, where I grew up. Toronto's where my parents currently live. Montreal's one of my favorite cities. My main thing was I really hadn't seen much of Western Canada, so I'd never seen. I wouldn't even call Winnipeg the West, but you know what I mean. In comparison to Ontario, it is West. But I'd never been to Winnipeg before. I'd never been to Edmonton before. I will say, with pursed lips, I'm not crazy about the cities necessarily, but the environments are great, man. They love their hockey there. The crowds are awesome at Winnipeg. The rink is amazing in Edmonton. So you never feel more Canadian than when you get taken out of the country and then get to go back and visit. It makes you very patriotic.
You've had a few looks now, Adnan, at the Ottawa Senators, and they'll be taking on the Detroit Red Wings at the CTC on Monday night. What's your general overview of just an opinion of the Ottawa Senators here at the midway point of the season? Do you feel like they should be better than they are?
I do. I was watching the game last night, Steve. I always try to prep if I can to watch a little bit of the team that I'm watching. Love Claude Giroux, by the way, because I grew up a huge Flyers fan, so I love that Giroux's still playing. I was surprised last night's goal, only his 8th goal of the year. I'm like, oh, man, he's only on pace for like a 16-goal season. But Stutz is obviously a stud, as you guys know. The point streak continues. I believe we're going to have Batherson mic'd up in the warm-up tomorrow, so that should be fun. We've done that previously with Giroux, and I believe Travis Konechny, maybe, I think when we had the Flyers. So that'll always be fun. Get to see a little bit more of Batherson's personality. I, like many, was just surprised with Linus Ulmark and his defection. And I said, oh, man, I hope he's okay. So a little bit curious and skeptical how Carolina will play. Looked good last night. Hopefully he can continue. But Travis Green's always a great coach to talk to. I always enjoy spending time with him. He's always blunt with us, very honest in his assessment. I love Dave Poulin. Again, going back to the Flyers, 87 Flyers. Always root for Dave Poulin. But I do think they should be better. What's really weird to me, Steve, is I don't know who's good. And I don't mean that tongue-in-cheek. I just think because the East is so tight. I mean, it's like 9 points separate top to bottom. It's insane. Like, I have so many friends who are Leafs fans, like, oh, the Leafs are 3 points out of last, but they're 3 points out of a playoff spot. So, like, I really don't know who's actually good. I hope that there's some separation, and hopefully it'll happen after the Olympic break. But Ottawa collectively, I would say, yeah, I mean, especially in Tkachuk's absence, the surprise to me was when he was gone, they kind of tread water. And when he came back, we didn't take off yet. And Brady's such a special player, such a unique talent. So hopefully at full bore, we're going to get a good game tonight. And the Red Wings are interesting. Again, Red Wings are close to the top of the Eastern Conference, haven't made the playoffs in 7 years. Curious to see how they'll play tomorrow night.
Now it's interesting. You mentioned prep there, like what you know about Ottawa, or what you know about Detroit. You only do, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 game a week.
Yeah.
What's that like for you? You don't have a home team, right? Every night you've got, or every week, you're dealing with. It's like Monday Night Football. You don't have the background, or you're not with them day in, day out. How's that been for you?
It's a great point. I'm so lucky to work at NHL Network. So if I'm I balance my schedule between NHL Network and MLB Network. So if I have an NHL Network week, it's great news, Greg, because then I can watch more hockey. If I have an MLB week, it's not as strong. Although right now it's the off season, so it's not like I'm watching games at night. So that's really the key, is before you go in there, at least try to watch. I mean, I always watch highlights every day. We have a show called On the Fly, which is on NHL Network. So I watch. It's crazy we don't have that in Canada. I'm not disrespecting Sportsnet or TSN, but it's literally a 1 hour hockey show. Like if you're a hockey fan, I watch 44 minutes of On the Fly, and I've seen every highlight. I don't want to, like, that doesn't exist back home. It's so crazy. When I go home, I love seeing my buddy McCall. I love seeing Jay Onrait, all my old friends, but I'm like, I don't understand. There's not just a hockey show. But long story short, I watch On the Fly every day. I make sure the teams that I'm watching, I watch them the game before. And then when we're there, talking to local announcers is always helpful. Jim Jackson, the Flyers, who I was talking to last week, he was giving us some intel. The Ottawa guys will be helpful. Ian Mendes is a great guy. Again, I know him from Sportsnet, so if I have any questions, we can ask them. That's kind of the way you do it. You have some background, and you go in there and just kind of let the game develop and dictate itself. And I'll be lucky. I'll be with Shane Knighty, of course, former senator, and Blake tomorrow, so we'll have a lot of fun.
Going to be a great game for sure. And I do want to ask you a little bit about, back to your, what a diverse career that you've had. You alluded to it briefly there, that you actually were the host of a podcast about movies called Cinephile. Was that sad to say goodbye to that?
It was, but it's one of those situations, Steve, where you just have to be grateful that it existed as long as it did. I started it for free because, as you guys know, you want to do anything in the business, say, I'll do it for free. I'm like, okay, fine. All you need is just the space and a microphone. And I did it because I worked for years at ESPN. I worked there 9 years, but I've been there maybe 6 years filling in on radio. And I just kind of had the sense that they're never going to give me a radio show. For whatever reason, they like me as a fill-in guy, but not my own show. And I was talking to my friend Dan Stanzik. I said, I should just do my own podcast, the Adnan Virk podcast. He was like, yeah, all the stuff that you're into, movies, Roger Federer, tennis, etc. And I said, well, I don't know if anyone's interested in my thoughts on Roger Federer, but we'll just do movies. And I said, we'll call it Cinephile. And Dan's agreeing, so I'll do it with you. I'm like, great, we'll do it for free. And honestly, we just utilize the resources around us. Robert De Niro is coming to promote his film. Well, we're going to get De Niro for 15 minutes. And thankfully, the talent reps at ESPN, they knew, and with all humility, that I would do a good job. And I was credible, and I really cared about it. It sounds simple to say, but you have to watch the actors work. You can't just go into the interview blind and say, well, I'm talking to Josh Duhamel. I was a big fan of you on Las Vegas, but your new film, I haven't seen it. No, I'd always make sure I'd watch the movie, watch the show, whatever it was. Will Arnett talking about Arrested Development, one of my favorite shows. Of course, Will's a big Toronto guy, Leafs fan, etc. So I was really lucky to do it. And then after I got let go by ESPN, I continued it at Cadence 13. Their deal was even funnier. Hey, we really don't care about the movie podcast. We want you to do an NFL podcast. Okay, great. If you do the NFL podcast, we'll let you do the hockey podcast or the movie podcast. Great. And then lastly, the biggest gift was Dan Levitar, my old friend at ESPN, who said, I like you and I just want you to be a part of the company. I said, great. So I'll pay you to do it. I'm like, but now we're getting paid to talk about movies. Now this is truly ridiculous. And that lasted 3 years. And then Dan called me last year and he goes, I got bad news, buddy. He said, I can't pay you anymore. I said, okay. He said, do you want to keep doing the podcast? And I said, I'll give it a few months, but I think if I'm not getting paid, after getting paid, it won't be as much fun. And Dan laughed because I think you're probably right. So I get to end it at least on my own terms. Towards the end, it was funny. I had so many actors and directors and writers, but at the end, Steve, I just wanted to have on sportscasters. So I had on Joe Buck, I had on Ian Eagle, like people with interesting backgrounds. I just always wanted to meet them and talk to them. So I was really fortunate at the end. I just kind of just did whatever I wanted. Got to have Bob Costas, Keith Olbermann, like all my favorite broadcasters and heroes. So it really was a passion project, and I should shamelessly promote my book is available, Cinephile, which I published a few months ago, and that really was a love letter to the podcast. It was a collection of all the best interviews that I did in my 8 years of doing the podcast, 336 episodes, Robert De Niro, Margot Robbie, Mahershala Ali, Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg, Ethan Hawke, Nicolas Cage. I mean, there's so many cool people I got to talk to. So I put it into a book, and hopefully people will enjoy it. Available on Amazon.ca.
Okay, so favorite movie and favorite sports movie. Go.
So I'll make it easy. I'll just say Raging Bull, because even though it's not a conventional boxing film, I think it's the best we ever made. Scorsese's my favorite director. My eldest son's middle name is Scorsese, which is funny because he's not a huge movie guy. He's more of a sports guy, but it's hilarious when we go to the border, we cross you're a movie fan. I'm like, yeah, no, there's not a Scorsese in the family. That is Martin Scorsese that I named him after. But I just think Raging Bull is such a brilliant work. De Niro literally changed acting. You know what I mean? Like he put on 60 pounds to the role to play the fat LaMotta. He got in incredible shape. So good that Jake LaMotta said, no, he could have been a boxer. That's how good De Niro was. And rather than being about the battles inside the ring, it's more about the battles outside the ring. I think it's poetic. It's beautiful. It was voted the best film of the 1980s. And to me, I just think it's a really work of art, which is something you don't have to get to say about movies. And it's also a sports movie. If you want like a fun sports movie, I mean, I would say something like, I think 8 Men Out's a great baseball movie, which is also a serious one. Yeah. But Major League is obviously a lot of fun. I think The Rocket's a great hockey movie, which is one that not enough people talk about. Obviously, Slapshot's a great one. But yeah, I generally enjoy something a little bit off the beaten path. But those are a few that are some of my favorites.
Excellent. Is there something you've seen in the last, say, 3 months where you go, wow, that is, because I thought One Battle After Another was fantastic, for example. What would be one that's recent that you loved?
I was about to say, Steve, one of the benefits of the podcast ending is that I will be completely candid. Movies are not as good as they once were, right? Like I grew up, movies of the 90s, that great Miramax, say what you will, but Harvey Weinstein is a despicable person, but those movies were unbelievable, right? The Pulp Fictions and Fargo and all those great independent movies. So I really miss those movies. Now you get like about 8 good movies a year, and most of it's like, MCU, rehash, all this kind of nonsense. So to your point, it would sometimes be a struggle to try to find something genuinely that I would get really excited about. Like, I would say that's a good movie, but I wouldn't really get jazzed about it. To your point, One Battle After Another, I liked a lot. I didn't love it as much as I loved other P.T. Anderson movies. I still prefer The Only Blood and Boogie Nights and Magnolia, but I did think it was special and unique, and I liked the craftsmanship, right? That final sequence is incredible. I've never seen like a chase sequence with a highway done as a roller coaster. I thought that was so unique the way he shot that. And I do love Sean Penn. I thought he was fabulous. He was, because he's so different from what Sean Penn's actually like, which I found so funny because he's obviously this, liberal guy. And here he's playing this conservative guy who's this crazy sergeant and all the rest of it. And obviously Leo's very good and Tiana Taylor's very good. The one that I got really excited about though is Marty Supreme. That's a new Timothée Chalamet movie. It just came out Christmas Day. It's about a 1950s ping pong champion, and it's absolutely batshit nuts. And it's one of those movies. It's made by one half of the Safdie brothers, Josh Safdie, who did Uncut Gems. And it's 2.5 hours, and it's exhilarating, and it's fun. It's one of those movies that you see it, you go, oh, this is what movies are supposed to be like. Too often, they're cookie cutter and popcorn. But I did think Marty Supreme was a special movie. And the Critics' Choice Awards, by the way, are tonight. The Golden Globes are next week. My hunch is you're going to be hearing a lot about One Battle After Another, Hamnet, and Marty Supreme. Those are the top 3 movies, I think, of the year.
There we go.
Excellent.
Go.
All right, Greg, you're covered, Greg?
Oh, what more could we ask?
Yeah.
I'd like to just talk movies for another hour or so, but that's okay.
That often happens, Greg. I'll go on. They'll say, we have a perfunctory hockey question to ask, but we really want to talk movies. I go, whatever you want. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, we can go that distance. And if I could throw myself, in case you haven't seen it yet, Eddington, if I could throw myself in front of that bullet, I thought that was one of the worst movies I've seen in the past year. I don't know if you have you seen it?
Steve, I liked the first half because I thought it was really satirical, and it was kind of more skewing towards the left than the right, which I found very amusing, the whole Black Lives Matter theme, et cetera. But I thought the second half was terrible, and it was just too long and just kind of pointless. And it was really a very cold, like, unpleasant film experience. So I'm with you. It wasn't something I'd embrace at all.
Yeah. But we're going to have a great experience on Monday night because we've got a good hockey game to watch. The Senators hosting the Detroit Red Wings, and the host of that whole thing, prime Monday night hockey host, Adnan Virk, is joining us here on the program here. And thank you so much for being with us today, Adnan, and good luck on Monday night.
No, thanks so much, Steve. Thank you, Greg. It's funny. When I signed in, I saw it as Adnan Kirk, and I said, okay, maybe they're just messing with me. So it was not your fault. It was what happened when they put whoever put the screen up. It was their fault, not yours. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Adnan.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Go where others fear to tread this winter in the SUV that's built for it. The 2025 Bronco Sport with standard 4x4 capability. Right now, get $2,500 in rebates on eligible 2025 Bronco Sport models during the Ford Winter Break event. Visit Jim K. Ford today for details.
At Jim K. Ford Lincoln, we say yes!
Here in Canada, we don't just make lights. We craft possibility, connection, and celebration. Built right here by people who care about what they're creating. At Celebrite, we're made of all the colors of the RGB rainbow, each person bringing their own brilliance. Because when we come together, we make something brighter. Celebrite.ca, proudly made in Canada.
Once again, Greg, we want to welcome our great new sponsor, Midas. You can find your favorite location at Midas.com.
We talked last week, last show, Steve, about the buy three, get one free on the Nexen tires. These guys sell every kind of tire, from the low grade to the high grade, any tire you like. But the best part is, no matter what tire you buy, you get a lifetime warranty on this sucker, right? If you get a flat, all you got to do is go into Midas, anywhere in North America. If they can repair it, they'll repair it for free. If they can't repair it, they'll replace it, Steve. Brand new tire, free of charge. All you got to do is pay for somebody to install it. Hit up a Midas and get some new tires.
And there goes Adnan Virk. Wow, was he... What a stream of consciousness. Like, if you go back, good listener, and listen and see how few times there was a pause or a mental sort of, glitch where he goes, or anything like that. No, just really good stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, good. And content too. Like not just drabbling on about nothing. Like, this guy knows his stuff, whether it's NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, an incredibly diverse background that he brings to Prime Monday Night Hockey. I have a whole different opinion of the man, and I will be watching the show from a different perspective from now on.
We had a nice, what could actually have been captured as another podcast episode after we stopped recording. So a really nice guy, and we appreciate him joining us. We appreciate Drake Batherson joining us on the show, our third man in. And as always, we appreciate you being here, ladies and gentlemen. Our team of podcast consultants all over us to remind you to like and subscribe. If you're enjoying the show, please hit subscribe. That would be most appreciated, as Greg points out the button somewhere down there. Yeah. It's really not hard to find. It's like it says subscribe, and all you have to do is click it. And when you do, you'll be notified immediately when new episodes are out there. We do need to I keep talking about getting a little more consistent with publishing times. It's one of my New Year's resolutions.
Here he goes again.
More guests.
Yes.
And more consistent show times. I think we nailed the first one in this episode, our first of 2026, and we'll see if I can do the other part as well. Don't forget as well that our website is sensnationhockey.com. All the things are there, all the links to various things, the podcast, to our YouTube channel, to the hockey news, where we have lots and lots of great Sens articles up there for you at thn.com/Ottawa. Thanks to our guests today. Thanks to Greg. You'll run a comb through his hair for our next show. And thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Steve. See you, pal.